Back to the Shankly sessions, folks. This is the Liverpool podcast. We bring you each and every day on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio version show available through Spotify. This is your match reaction. Tottenham 2, Liverpool 2. Packed house at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, over 45,000 people for this Super Sunday game, which served up to be quite a thriller. But I don't know what people are thinking this weekend, but I think the level of refereeing in the Premier League has hit an all-time low. And that's not just coming from a Reds fan here who's very disappointed in the result, but I just think that the discrepancies between the different calls and games, you've seen it today with that Newcastle penalty, a couple of issues in the Chelsea game, and then our own game, when we look at some of the decisions and we go through them and stuff like that. But I mean, it did serve up to be a thriller. There was questions beforehand whether it should even happen or not, whether the Chelsea game should have even happened or not. You're going down through the list here of, COVID hit players and stuff like that. We lost Van Dijk, Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago, to name but a few. I know Curtis is in there, but he wasn't in the thing. And then the likes of Harvey Elliott missing, Origi missing. Like we'd a lot of players at the moment, big players, first team players missing. Now that's not to say, I mean, we want football to go ahead. We want football to survive through this and not be put on shutdown. So like a number of teams are getting hit with this, you know what I mean? And we simply go out to Chelsea as well today, trying to play against Wolves today. And on the face of it, both of us should have teams that should be able to go out there and do a job. I mean, hats off to Tyler Morton going out there and controlling that midfield, a young lad, 19 years of age, to put that responsibility on such young shoulders, who was absolutely brilliant against AC Milan as well. And fair play to him stepping up and getting his debut and stuff like that. But it was just, 2-2. So, Kane opened up the scoring, took his goal well. It was really interesting, the game, because like we were attack. And I said before in previous episodes, sometimes you just need to be a little bit patient and try and figure out what the opposition is doing. And especially when you have someone like Conte, you don't need to go full wham, bam, bam, bam all the time. You can step back a little bit, go for a couple of them, and then step back and try and assess from the sideline, give Klopp time to assess and see what exactly Conte is trying to do and stuff like that. So it was a tough one, but Harry Kane opened the scoring on 13 minutes. We obviously fired back on 35 minutes, Diogo Jota. This guy is sublime. For a guy who's like, stature wise, you wouldn't think he'd be that kind of powerful in terms of heading, but how many headers does he score? And like the power of his headers as well, for a guy who's kind of not a small guy, but you know what I mean. He's not a powerhouse. But then Robbo took the lead then on 69 minutes with a lovely goal, just a melee of a goal that he finished off. Son then with a kind of a goal on 74 minutes. Again, such a strange one. And then on 77 minutes, the game was kind of killed off with Robbo getting a red card, where the referee went and reviewed VAR. Now, the questions that I have here, first of all, is one, Diogo Jota today should have had a penalty. He was pushed over. He was forcibly pushed over in the box. The ref trying to say that he thought Jota stopped to win the penalty. It doesn't matter whether you stop to win the penalty if the player barges into you and knocks you over. It's a penalty. You know what I mean? And it wasn't only 3 or 4 minutes later that there was an incident between Mane and a player where he was pushed over and he gave a free kick. So if it's okay to give a free kick for a push outside of the box, then if someone barges straight through you and doesn't get any of the ball in the box, why isn't it a penalty? And why wasn't it reviewed? Why didn't he go and take a look at it? Didn't bother. Okay. So then we look at the Harry Kane tackle as well. That Harry Kane tackle on Andy Robinson. If Andy Robinson's foot is planted today, he's getting a broken leg. So that's dangerous play. It's all the things, all the hallmarks, all this season of giving a red card. Didn't go and re-review it. Didn't go look at VAR. Didn't question whether it should be a red card. Why? Because it's Harry Kane and he's the captain of England. So why would he? You know what I mean? So it's wrong. These decisions are wrong. Okay. But then Liverpool, of course, it was attack after attack after attack. But I think in terms of the game, I think Conte had already set up Spurs in such a way that he knew Liverpool were going to come attack. But he was saying to the team, I'd say to Spurs, in my mind, pick your moments when you want to go for it as well. And they had a number of great opportunities. I mean, Harry Kane, I think, missed the sitter. Dele Alli has to score that one as well. And I think Son had one at the back post as well that he should have put away. So listen, I'm putting my hand up here. Spurs had their chances today. There's no doubt about that. But when the officiating is so bad, so bad, and so not even bad, but just inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like if he had sent Kane off and Robbo had got sent off, there'd be no question about that. There's a consistency to that. There's no consistency to what happened today. There's no consistency to a player pushing another player over outside the box and getting a free kick, and a player pushing a player over in the box and not getting a penalty. I mean, they barged straight through Diogo Jota, so it was a terrible decision, you know. But it was going to be tough. I mean, this COVID Omicron issue at the moment that's taking players out of squads and stuff like that. It's really, really tough at the moment. And yes, we want play to go ahead. But are we doing ourselves a disservice? Are we giving away points here that we shouldn't be giving away, where other teams are getting postponements? Are we giving them opportunities and stuff like that? Now, Man City winning earlier in the day, going out doing a professional job with a full squad, may I add. Beat Newcastle, I think 4-0 in the end it was. But Newcastle had a big show for a penalty claim. But this is Man City. They go out and they do their job once they have their team there. But then you look at Chelsea, who was absolutely ravaged, and they have to go out and try and put on a performance to Wolves. And they end up drawing and getting a point, which, any more of these, and you're literally taking yourself out of a title race, because Man City don't drop points. They drop very little points, and especially after Christmas, where they tend to go on runs where they're at their strongest. So it's a difficult time at the moment, Now Liverpool are still within 3 points of City, and of course we still have to play them. So that gives us an opportunity that we still could potentially, if we stay within that kind of distance, that we could still go top. But it was a bad day at the office for us as well. Apart from all that as well, in the first half, our passing, I was looking at it, it was schoolboy passing as well. The amount of passes we played today that were hospital passes. And again, when we looked at Salah, I mean, if you looked at the first half of Salah, he was so isolated at times. Could we not have changed it up a little bit, or changed the formation a little bit one way or another to try and get him more into the game, instead of just leaving him out there isolated? It was very clear after 45 minutes he wasn't getting a whole lot of joy. Trent had a good opportunity, of course, with a half volley that Reece saved with his leg. But I just think, when teams kind of figure that out and we're looking at it and we're trying to figure out what to do, I think sometimes we might need to change it up. Maybe put Salah through the middle, put Jota out there, or whatever it is, or put Mane out there, whatever. Switch it up and change it up and see does it have an effect. Don't just keep on going with it, because a lot of our play today, and I've said it before at times, a lot of it just felt like hitting hope. It didn't feel like, there was a method to our madness, if you like, today, that we were at it. You know what I mean? It felt like we were lobbing balls in there, hoping for something to happen. We were lashing balls out to Salah, hoping for something to happen. But there wasn't that drive and determination to get this result home. And I just think that was a real problem today. And what happens is, you find in those games as well, when they're like that as well, the clock just ebbs away really, really quick. And before you know, you've run out of time. Now, on the face of it, I suppose in the end, we'll walk away with a point, and we'll take a point, obviously, with Robbo getting sent off, because in fact we could have lost the game. But I think it's a lesson learned today. I mean, we're trying to deal with this whole COVID thing. I think the FA and the Premier League, they really need to look at this, and they need to figure out, how this gets fixed up. There's a lot of teams this weekend sitting at home while teams like ourselves and Spurs and all are playing. And I think it's a bit unfair, even though I want football to keep them going. But I don't know if there's that many teams out there at the moment that got postponements that have been hit as hard as us in terms of our level of quality, or Chelsea. And I just think there has to be a kind of a fairness to it. And again, that's not me being better, because I already said I think Spurs were full value for their point, and probably could have got more. If you look at the opportunities between both teams, they had the better opportunities. If we had gotten their opportunities, we would have won 5-2. So they just didn't take their opportunities. And of course, they were coming off cold as well. They hadn't played in 2 weeks. So, they had to try and figure out what they were doing, and we were playing. But then Klopp, after the match, he made the point that, like, we're playing Thursday, then we're playing Sunday, then we're playing Tuesday. In a COVID situation where we have players testing positive for COVID, we have a squad where, 5 to 6 key players, starters, are decimated out of the squad. Leeds is having to put a 15-year-old on the bench. We're having to play nearly academy players at this stage to make up squad numbers and stuff like that. And I just think the FA and the Premier League, they really need to take a look at this before, because this is going to get way worse before it gets better. And God knows what's going to happen over the festive period and along into the New Year sessions as well. I just think it's something that really needs to be looked at. But yeah, not a great day at the office for Liverpool. Couple of guys kind of stood up as best they could, but we knew it was going to be difficult with the players that we lost. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we know that we have a little bit of backup at times in some of the players that we have there, but the reality is we're only bringing Kanate in the summer. We didn't really strengthen in terms of the way that we should, and maybe now losing these players, we're starting to be found out just a little bit, and I don't mean much, just a little bit. It's that one or two quality players that you'd have on your bench that you could use can often make the difference. Until next time, let us know your comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the match reaction. Let us know what you thought of the match. This has been your Shankly Sessions on the Dynamo Podcast Network, Spotify for audio versions of the show, and we'll be back to you this week with a preview for the Leicester game. Till next time, a pleasure.